We've owned this woodlot, my wife and I, Karen, we've owned this woodlot since 1988. Both woodlots, one across the road and this one, 200 acres in total. This woodlot belonged to my father-in-law, Norman Henry, forestry ranger, graduated from forestry school in 1947, and I'll say that proudly. A very good man, respected in his community. And he taught me, by talking to him, an awful lot about forestry, trees, what to cut, what not to cut. Cut the fir, I think was his favorite saying, and he was right. And across the road, we bought this, across the road, another 100 acres that has never been cut. There's some beautiful, beautiful hardwood back there and beautiful spruce. I've cut all the fir because they were dying. The tops were breaking off. They were way over mature, way over mature. So we cut it using a farming winch on the back of a tractor. It didn't destroy the forest floor, and it went quite well. Okay, this site, we planted lots of trees through the marketing board out front. There's 3,000 on this side, 2,000 on the other side of the road. They're coming along quite well. Spruce, a beautiful plantation. There's also some pine out there we planted in 1988 along the property line. And they're growing well. I'm very proud of them, very proud of them. And back here, Norman, there was a federal grant for woodlot roads and improving your woodlots. Norman used that. He blazed a trail through the woods with ribbon, and then they cut 16 feet wide, right down the road, separating two woodlots. And that went well. And then he got in Wilford Doucet crew, and they made an excellent road with ditches and everything, like, well done. And there's oak back there, there's lots of spruce, there's lots of wildlife, moose and deer and red-tailed hawks, stuff you like.
Well, Hazen and Karen have a really beautiful spot out here. They've got some very old tolerant hardwoods. We got sugar maple, yellow birch that have been left to grow, and so we're really pleased to try to find a way to promote those. Of course, as Hazen mentioned, there's fir and there's spruce in there, and it's starting to see a little bit of blowdowns. There's been some trees that are just falling down due to age, and it was time to do something. So Hazen has had some strip cutting done in here in trying to minimize the impact, yet open it up and try to create a new stand. So what we did at the far end out here is we took an area that had a lot of mature to over mature yellow birch. It had sugar maple, there was some spruce, there was fir, there was red maple mixed in it. And we took two sites. The first site, traditionally, if somebody come in here, what they would have done is clear cut the area because they would have saw everything was older. Oh, look at the size of the trees, let's cut them. You know, they grabbed all the trees that they could, they milled everything. That would have been the traditional way to go here. So we took an acre and we clear cut it. The second area we went into and we ribboned the trees we wanted to leave. So we were trying to revert this back to a tolerant hardwood site, in that there was a lot of tolerant hardwoods already here, but there's nothing really regenerating on the ground. So we left all the sugar maple and the yellow birch. They have good strong taproots. And so we took everything else out in the site. So you're gonna see the difference between the clear cutting and what's coming back there, which has shown it's starting to get, but it's not showing a lot coming back. And then we have the tolerant hardwoods that have been left. They are standing and doing extremely well. But they've been opened up enough that we should have some disturbance and get some young stuff coming up underneath. And then of course there's a control so that they can watch what would have happened had nature just taken its course.
And how we're going to lose some of our trees we take for granted is a white pine. I planted 600 white pine back there last year, or the year before, I'm sorry, and they're doing quite well. The majority of them, the greater majority of them, I'm very proud of that. The marketing board in Bathurst helped me with those. That's how we acquired the white pine at a cost. This fall, I intend to plant an awful lot of red oak. There's not a lot of them up here, but in Queens County, I can gather a lot of acorns, transport them up here and plant them and see what happens from there.
And both white pine and red oak are supposed to do extremely well as our climate changes a bit. Down south probably even more, but as we come up to this part of the province, we're still going to see, I'm sure, the white pine really becoming established. And the red oak, I have no doubt, is going to be very happy up here too. So planting acorns, maybe in some of the strip cuts that he had from previous operations, is a great way to try to perpetuate that species.